welcome to episode 4 of Point of View. This week's guest was Concertmaster Daisuke Yamamoto. Dice is a friend of mine, and he is the first chair for the Richmond Symphony. Got to talk a lot about that and just what he's been playing, because they're still doing stuff. There's still some live streaming going on and some limited capacity shows, how the kind of pandemic affected his playing and what he kind of did during that, how he, got into actually being the concert master, and some other works he's done, playing video game soundtracks live, having works done for video games, television, commercials, and just kind of the whole span of what he's done and kind of what he's into. It was a really interesting guest. I'm glad he was able to join us. So sit back, listen up, and hopefully you enjoy, hearing him as much as I enjoyed speaking with him. All right, we have another episode, Point of View, and this week's guest, awesome individual, good buddy of mine, Richmond Symphony Concertmaster. I hope I did not botch that. Yeah. And just world-renowned violinist, Daisuke Yamamoto. Dice, welcome aboard, my friend.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me. This is very exciting. This is my very first podcast that I've ever been on.
Is it really?
Yeah.
How do people not watch you? Like, you're extremely accomplished in your field, and what you do is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I've done interviews before for papers and whatnot, but as far as like a podcast, yeah, no, I think a lot of the people that speak to me that do interviews or whatever are more older, so they're not really tech savvy. So I think that's why.
It's not the younger generation like running up to you for info on all things symphony and orchestral, and no.
Yeah, back in the day, we used to be rock stars, not so much anymore.
Still a rock star.
Rock stars to a geriatric crowd, so that's okay.
Well, is it because they can barely hear you, or you're just playing at the tones and volume that they find sustainable?
Oh, I think it just has to do with the music itself, right? I think, it's like, some people ask me, hey, can you do hip hop, or like, can you do, this sort of popular stuff? Like, not really. And so,
would you want to, though? I mean, you thoroughly enjoy the classics. I mean, you've played a wide just library of some amazing stuff, haven't you?
Yeah, no, there's a lot of amazing stuff out there, for orchestra, but I used to think that, I've always wanted to play in a band, and I have before. Yeah. I think it'd be fun to do on the side. So, if there's anyone out there that, needs a fiddle player, I'll be happy to do it. I mean, I've done it before with with the pickups and the amps and whatnot, when I have time, but yeah, but there's a lot of great stuff out there just for, like acoustic, orchestra stuff. Just so much stuff.
I mean, some of the stuff that I've seen you play and where you've played is just crazy. And just one thing that was impressive to me, because you, sir, are all over Google. It is easy to find some information on you, which I don't mean this in a bad way. I was like, there's a lot of cool articles on Dice. Wow. Mm-hmm. But like, I saw you did the Schindler's List theme for Holocaust Remembrance Day.
Oh yeah, I did that. Yeah. That was, what was that, a few years ago now? I think it was aired on PBS around 8. Yeah, I remember that. That was a very special, occasion. And, to be able to play, something like that on that day was, it was terrific. And, it's beautiful music too,
Well, yeah, I was shocked. And you were selected for that project for PBS, or how did that come about?
Oh, no, the symphony asked me. He's like, hey, do you want to play Schindler's List for this concert? I said, sure. Yeah. So the symphony asked me.
And then away you went, and then television appearances galore.
I guess, yeah. Yep.
And you've been with the Richmond Symphony, I think, since what, 2013?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I started in January.
Oh, so it's already coming up on 8 years, huh?
Yep.
Oh wow. Yep. And when you came from you moved here from Miami, Florida, right?
Mhm.
You were what was it, the New World Symphony?
Right. Yep. Yeah. So that was a fellowship, an orchestral fellowship program. It was a 3-year program that that I was selected for, and yeah, I mean that was a great experience. They did a lot of crazy stuff, like cutting edge stuff. They had you know, a lot of money at their disposal. So, like for example, the building itself, the hall that we played in itself, was designed by Frank Gehry. So
I'm familiar with Frank Gehry.
you are right, yeah. He did like the L.A. like. Well, are you not? No.
I'm not. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I asked to learn. I asked to learn.
Frank Gehry is an architect. He's been around for a while. He's done like quite a bit of stuff around the world, but he's most famous for like these wavy like lines along the roofs.
Yeah.
If you Google it, it'll come up. But he's done like the Walt Disney Concert Hall, and there are a couple other famous ones that are just escaping my mind right now. But you know, point is like he's famous and he's not cheap.
And I sound like it. If he did like the Walt Disney Concert Hall, I'm assuming that he can get a pretty penny for whatever.
Right, right. So, that's the kind of money that they had. So we had like, they recorded the concerts every week, and they had this thing called a wall cast where they like put the concert on the side of the concert hall so people outside can watch. And then outside there's the yard, and they have like this like state of the art speaker system. This is crazy. It's crazy. We do like club concerts. Yeah, this is just all sorts of craziness. It really fit with the Miami vibe. But yeah, so I was there, and then I came here to Richmond, which I'm happy to be back in the South. Where there's seasons and everything. That's great.
Mr. Georgia over here with the season.
Yeah.
I like seasons too, bro. Just not the crappy ones. No, I'm from New York, so winter and summers and falls. I like the seasonality. Just most of the family's in Florida, so I know all about the minute rain and then blistering heat, and then occasionally 60 degrees is freezing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know. It gets to that. People bust out their like winter boots and their winter coats. I'm just like, come on now, come on.
That's too much. But when you were coming up here to basically, audition, it was kind of like a blind process, right? Like they didn't see you till like the finale of it, so to speak, right? Like you were just, I guess, behind like a curtain or a wall or something, so they weren't like judging you based on appearance or age, but just strictly skill set. Am I right? And that's how that process worked?
Yeah, you're right on. Yeah. So there's 3 rounds in my case, and the first 2 were behind a screen. And then the 3rd round, it was down to me and this one other person, and that's when they took the screen down. And yeah, and beforehand, what they do is they give you sort of a list of excerpts, is what we call it, like piece of music to prepare. And we prepare that, and they choose the pieces they want to hear at the audition from that list.
And you just blew them away. You played the selected pieces.
Well, I don't know. I mean, typically for like when you audition for a concertmaster position, they usually have a trial week. So they come in and test you out for a couple of weeks. But I don't know. I guess they like what they heard. So in my case, they just hired me right there.
That's amazing. And I mean, you've been there for years now, so you've been doing something, right?
Yeah. I guess so. I mean, we'll see, because now we have a new conductor. So the conductor that hired me is not here anymore. So we have a new one. But I think that, I've spoken with her, a couple of times, and I think it's going to be a good musical relationship, good working relationship.
Well, hopefully you guys aren't butting heads and clashing. And just, I mean, I didn't know. I looked up and I saw things. I did not know any differential between a concertmaster, conductor, and I know another name for a concertmaster is the first chair, right? Yeah. So what goes into what you do? Like what is your responsibility during the show, and then I know you have some ancillary things you do behind the scenes. So what's kind of like your world comprised of?
Sure. So, actually, before I get to that, you brought up pretty interesting points. Like, what is the difference between a concertmaster and a conductor? Is like, what do they do? And back in the day, like, this orchestras were much smaller, so you didn't really need a conductor. So the concertmaster usually was the conductor as well as the first violin. So they really did both jobs, back in the day. I'm talking about, like, 17th century back.
Well, you're going way back in the day.
Yeah. That's the start. Yeah. So sometimes in some extreme cases, just to keep a beat, like they would like stamp their foot or their cane or whatever, just to keep things going. But as time went along, orchestras got bigger. Excuse my cat, and pieces of music became more and more complicated, and so then it came to a point where you needed a conductor to just sort of organize everything. So so that's how that came to be. But anyway, so this is one of our cats, Sophie. I don't know. Are you a cat person?
Am I a cat person? Yeah. No, but I like all animals, and Sophie seems cute, so I'll take it.
He's chill.
I'm a dog person.
Oh, I love dogs too. So what does my job entail? So one of the things that I do is, like, if you go to an orchestra concert, you look at the string section, you can see like the bows moving in a coordinated fashion. I'm the one that sort of starts off that process. So I bow my music and I pass it along to the other principals. So first chair, the second violins, first chair, viola, and so forth, and they sort of sync it up with what I put down in my part. That's one of the things. The main thing is I'm sort of like the conductor's right hand man, right? So or an interpreter, if you will. So you see the conductor just waving their hands, and it's my job to sort of relay what she's doing on the podium, to not only to the back of my section, but also to the rest of the orchestra through like body motions or through playing. So I'm sort of like a translator for that. And also, sometimes these pieces have what we call like concertmaster solos. So it's just one violin solo. So I have to play that.
You have to play that. That's just so daunting to get a solo.
Depending on what it is, it's scary. It can be very scary.
Nah, nothing shakes you, man.
Well, that's good to know, because that means that I hide it really well.
You do. Does Sophie have any musical inclinations?
No, she just likes it when I'm not playing.
So she gets some pat time.
Yeah.
I'll explain this to you later, but just keep her away from Tommy Siegel.
Okay.
Just callback joke from last week, but and so you do a lot of stuff for the Richmond Symphony behind the scenes as well, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I do a lot of. So concertmaster is also one of the faces of the orchestra.
Right.
Right. So I do a lot of fundraising. I also keep in close contact, with the conductor and the executive director, and sort of, work with them on whatever issues or feedback they might need or want. But I also, just go out and try and plant myself, into the community and sort of make connections, and that's really that's part of the fun too.
You like to get that FaceTime with people?
Yeah. I like talking to people, getting to know them, because everyone has such an interesting story,
Oh, absolutely.
I only know mine and other musicians. And it's a very similar path, right?
Right.
So meet the people from other walks of life, it's just very fascinating to me. So I really enjoy it.
No, meeting people, that's one of the main reasons I'm doing this right now, is I like to hear stories. I like to just talk with people, and I like to, learn about different things. We've spoken, in the past, and, learning about what you do, and, learning about the Richmond Symphony, and, learning about that orchestral life that you got. It's interesting because it's not something that, comes up in daily conversation. So it's, genuinely intriguing to learn more and kind of get put in your world a little bit. And I know, speaking of which, your world's kind of different right now. Obviously, you can't have large crowds. And kind of before we started this recording, you were telling me a little bit more about, starting back up again and, what the Richmond Symphony is doing right now. Could you share that again and kind of go into what that's looking like right now for you?
Yeah, sure. So last weekend, we had our very first Masterworks performance, which in the hall in the Carpenter Theater, or what is it? Oh, the Minion Energy Center now. Yeah, it was so the audience capacity was, I think, a third of what it could be. It could even be like a quarter. But everyone's sort of spread out, and everyone's wearing masks, and
Oh, is that trippy for you?
yeah, that was strange. It was so strange because usually you know when people come to our concerts, they have some sort of a drink in hand, like glass of wine or something like that, and it's usually a little bit more packed. But it was nice to play for a live audience again. And on top of that, we also stream online now, so people can buy just online tickets and just listen to the concert in their pajamas or whatever they want to wear and whatever they want to drink.
Drink what you want, wear what you want, or don't want, or
Well, yeah, exactly. From the comfort of your home. Your home, your rules.
He will not judge. It's only one way. You can watch him. He will not watch you. As far as I know, I don't know what else you're streaming or doing, but
right. They always tell us before any televised concerts, like just be careful. Don't pick your nose or don't scratch your butt with your bow.
But isn't that exactly what you want to do in that moment then?
Sometimes, yeah, especially with the masks.
No.
That's the other thing, right? The musicians all are wearing masks as well when they're.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's very different. It's a little physically taxing too, but yeah.
When you say physically taxing, a lot of it, I can't play an instrument. I could play the kazoo a little bit, but that's about as far as it goes. I would imagine there's still a lot of breathing and stuff involved in your play and what have you. And do you feel like, especially with the length of a concert, that's impeding you a little bit, or?
No, it takes just some adjustment, getting used to. But you're right. Breathing is a big part of what we do, and how we play music. That's how we sort of play together. We breathe together. So it is a little bit of an adjustment, but just like anything else, the more you do it, the more you get used to it, the more you sort of realize how you have to pace yourself, and sort of figure out how you're going to breathe.
Which
is, you don't necessarily have to, because you're wearing a mask. If you forget to brush your teeth and your breath smells like garlic or something, it's okay.
I like the smell of garlic, but that's just me.
But yeah.
So you don't have to worry about that as much.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all. Another different thing is that all the musicians are, I believe, 10 feet apart. So you normally in the strings you have like one music stand and two people assigned to that stand. But now we only have one person per stand, and everyone's sort of 10 feet apart. So I think the maximum amount of people we can have on stage at any given moment is, I think, 24 or 25.
Oh, wow.
So, that creates a lot of distance. And so sometimes it's a little, difficult to play together, but we're figuring that out too. A lot of experimentation going on.
It's trial and error, but it's not just you guys. It's everybody in the world right now. So,
right? Yeah, like for people that, that work, from the offices, they either, they either go in or they are indefinitely, can work from home.
All the teleworking. I was doing that for a little bit.
How was that?
I liked it. I'm lucky enough that I have a little office set up in the house, which probably should do this podcast up there, but but no, it's fine. For what I was doing when I'm on the phone or doing something in a customer management tool or something, I'm in like a little zone, so I didn't really miss coworkers or anything. Not that I don't like people or want to like hang out with people or talk to people, but I mean, like when I'm working, like tunnel vision, man. So it didn't bother me. And I work on the phone a lot. So even then, so I'm always talking to people, or there's some sort of human contact, or Zoom meetings like this. So seeing people. So, I mean, it was weird, but it wasn't like I wasn't losing my mind or anything over it. I mean, did you experience anything from, when you couldn't play? How was that for you? I mean, like your entirety of industry is being out there with other people, either obviously playing music and then, getting energy off an audience. And, obviously couldn't have that for a little bit. How was that for you?
Um, I'm not gonna lie. When it first happened, I was like, "Oh, great! This is the vacation I needed." So it's like a forced vacation. So I was like, "Oh, this is great." But you're right. You're right. For any artist or any musician, you need an audience. Otherwise, we don't really serve a purpose. So, but what I was doing was as a classical musician, we're always sort of trying to hone our craft, trying to become better and better. So I took a little while to just sort of, take a step back, didn't play any orchestra music, and sort of reworked, some of my own, playing. And it's really hard to do when you're, in an orchestra and you're trying to, play a different program every weekend, trying to meet deadlines. So I took the time to do that, and I did a couple of like these outdoor concerts, for a charity. I did one for like RAC, the Richmond Animal Care and Control or whatever. Just to go outside and play for the the neighborhood, and that was nice. I also played a recital, actually as part of the symphony summer season back in July, and yeah, and then a lot of virtual playing. You'd be surprised. People, I think, after like a month or so, were sort of craving to hear music, live music. So, we did this whole online thing, and it really worked out well.
That's really cool. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm glad that you were able to kind of, stay in contact, stay in playing. And is there, you're a classical musician. Are there certain, what are your favorite pieces to play? Like, what are some of your favorites, personal favorites?
Oh man, dreaded question.
It's got to be asked. I'm sure every single person will always ask you this in perpetuity. I just stuttered all over that. But forever, you're always going to be asked that. So even if it's not a short answer, that's cool. I mean, this format, we can do what we want.
Right. It's like, how long do you have? No. So how long do we have? No, it's like, it's so hard to choose. It's kind of like, I think, the parents out there would, understand. It's like trying to, choose your favorite child.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
I mean, it's hard.
like, which one's your favorite, dog out of the three that you have? It's hard. I mean, there are composers that I really like listening to. Let's see. I think Bach is wonderful. His solo violin stuff, his solo cello stuff. I think it's great. Um, right now, I'm working on this piece for string orchestra by Antonin Dvorak, and it's called the Serenade for Strings. And that's a wonderful piece. Man, yeah, Beethoven, Brahms. I mean, all of them.
Answer all of them. Every last one is great.
Yeah, they're all my favorites.
No, that's awesome. Now you've been playing the violin pretty much your whole life, right? I mean, you started out really young, didn't you?
I was 4. So yeah, I've been doing it for 34 years now.
That's crazy. And I think I read a story. I wish I could cite which article I read. I think there was a story in there, like, when you were like 4 or 5 or something, you were also like playing soccer, right? And you like hurt your arm and you had to give it up for a little bit, and you kind of, I guess, realize, how much it meant to you to play. Did I
Yeah,
read that right? Is that a thing, or did I make that up?
bad, but it's true. It wasn't when I was 4 or 5. It was when I actually was in high school.
Oh, I knew I had some reading comprehension issues there.
Yeah, it's okay. You're only out for like 12 years. But what you I don't know where you read that, but that's amazing.
I'm master Googler. I don't know.
But yeah, it's true. Yeah, when I was, it's a true story, but it was in high school. I was playing soccer, just a pickup game, broke my wrists, clean break, and yeah, that's from there on. I figured out that that music was a vital part of my life, much more than soccer was. So
Well, I mean, you break your wrist in soccer. I could see why you want to give that up.
people are always like, "How did you break your wrist in soccer? Don't you play that with your feet?"
It's a physical game. It bores me to no end, and I don't know how many people that listen to this like soccer, so I apologize. I watch baseball, which makes people fall asleep, so I'm not immune to.
Oh, well, I used to go to Braves game as a kid. As they gave out, a couple tickets like every, I don't know, 6 to 9 weeks for getting all A's on your report card. Fantastic. It was there when with like Tom Glavine and David Justice.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I mean, that was the prime time to watch the Braves.
Yeah, it was the '90s, right? So yeah, so I remember like wearing like the World Series T-shirts with when they were playing the Twins.
That's the throwback, and I think a lot of schools did that program too. Because when I was in high school in Ohio, there was something similar, and I got to go to Cincinnati Reds games for good grades.
But man, there's nothing like the sound of like you know the ball just making contact with the bat.
Oh, the crack of the bat! No, that's one of the best sounds on the face of the earth, man.
Yeah.
But do you still play pickup games of soccer, or like from that moment on, have you been like averse to?
No, not really. If I had the time, I totally would. But I think by now, uh, man, the rust on my legs and my reflexes, I think would be too hard to shake off. So I don't really play anymore. I did join like a pickup group when I first got here, and I played a couple games, but at that, I realized I was like, no, I can't keep up with them. I'm done. I'm good. I'll just watch.
I think everybody gets those moments. This had to be maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So when I was in college, I played hockey, and I played street hockey as a kid. I played ice hockey as a high school and college student. And about 4 or 5 years ago, I was working at a bank, and one of my customers was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go play a pickup hockey game." My kid, his kid was college age, so it wasn't like me with a bunch of like 10 or 12-year-olds or some craziness. So me and other grown men were playing a pickup game of hockey, and my legs, my back, my shoulders, my neck, by the time I was done, I was like, I can't keep up with 24-year-old kids, man. So I was like, I'm good. I'm good from here. Good from here on out. I like it. I'll still watch the NHL and stuff, but I don't need to get out there and embarrass myself like that.
Yeah, like, and in my specific situation, like you compound that with like, there's always this little fear in the back of your head. It's like, oh, what if I fall and break something too? You know?
Do you not have a life alert on you at your age?
Yeah, right.
Dice and I are about the same age, so if I'm insulting him, I'm insulting me. So either way, it's just...
I'll send you one on your next birthday.
I think that'll be good. Send me that, some Metamucil, and want some prune juice. No, we're good. We're still in the prime of our lives.
Yeah, I think people say that every decade.
No, they do. 50 is the new 40, 40 is the new 30, 20 is the new 10, 10's the new fetus. It's all good, man. I don't know. I don't know how any of that works. But, over the span that you've had in playing, are there any shows that really stick out to you? Because, I mean, you played all over the U.S. and Europe, and you've played some pretty cool concert halls, right?
Yeah. Man, I think one of the One of my favorite concert halls I've ever played so far was in Cleveland. And
Oh,
it's called Severance Hall, and it's the home of the Cleveland Orchestra, and that's who I played there with. Such a fantastic, hall. Acoustics are built just, for that kind of music. Um, and let's see, actually, you know what? I think playing in the New World Center when I was down in Miami was also, a lot of fun. Just because not only did the building, look cool, but it could be formatted to, put on all sorts of like, different types of concerts, different concert formats. So, you had a stage in the middle, and then you had the audience sort of sitting around you,
oh
360
wow.
degrees. Then right above you, you had these like white sails. So sometimes they use like video projection, so they would incorporate, visual art along with, the music. And then you had these like, I don't know, like little mini stages scattered around the the hall too. So sometimes, you would play some musicians there, so you get sort of this like surround sound effect.
That's so cool.
Yeah, yeah, it was really cool. Um,
It must have sounded great.
yeah, it was depending on what you played. It could sound really awesome. It was a small hall, only see like 800 people. Um, but yeah, a lot of concerts.
Nothing overseas that really stood out, or any of those. I imagine most of those venues are probably a little bit older and
Not
not as.
necessarily. I mean, there is a strong, long history of classical music over there because that's where it started.
Yeah.
I mean, um, playing in Lucerne was wonderful. I played in Salzburg, Austria, the same area where they filmed the Sound of Music.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Anna would like to hear that.
I mean, that's all I know about it. But it's a beautiful
That's
place.
the factoid.
Yeah. Um,
No Fromer's guide for you.
and then I played, some shows, some concerts in Japan, which were a lot of fun. Um, just because the group of people that I was with was just you know, all around great people. So
Awesome.
yeah,
So you've been everywhere, man. You've played everywhere. You've seen all these things. That's got to be an experience in and of itself.
I think that's like one of the I guess the perks of being a musician is that you get to sort of travel, for work. Like travel overseas for work and play concerts and get to see things that you normally probably wouldn't get to see or wouldn't even think of visiting places.
Yeah, you get these opportunities that would not normally be afforded. Is there any venue? I'll do it this way so I could make it a little bit less taxing on you. Is there a venue in the U.S. and then a venue overseas that you want to play at but you have not as of yet? Like what's on that like to-do list for you? Yeah, I'm asking all the loaded questions.
I would love to. I would love to play at the in the U.S. Probably the Walt Disney Concert Hall. I think that'd be nice. Um, then abroad, man.
I'm stumping him today.
Well, it's tricky because I only know these places by reputation, not because I know them. So I don't know. Probably the Music Verein in Austria.
Not back to Austria. You got
Yeah,
some familiar haunts there.
yeah. I mean that's where it's at.
Cool though, man.
You know, everyone. Oh, you know what though? You know what I would like to see? It's not necessarily a concert hall, but in Bonn, Germany, it's Beethoven's 250th. So the whole city is celebrating his birthday, and they have all these light installations and art installations planted throughout the city, and they're putting on this concert where I think they invited like 250 different composers to write, you know, pieces, for this occasion. So I would like to go there and sort of see like, all the art installations and, and make a pilgrimage to, to his grave, because that's something that every musician does. Because Beethoven is considered as one of the greats.
Well, yeah. I mean, every single person, even listening, who's not directly involved with music, should, God willing, be familiar with Ludwig van Beethoven.
Oh yeah. Well, not. He is a staple in pop culture too. Like
Yeah.
the opening of this Fifth Symphony, da, 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 like that being riffed or sampled in different tracks, or in commercials. They're all over the place. It's all over the place.
Well, yeah. He's had the lasting impact, and the movies with the dogs everybody has to love.
Oh yeah, I've only seen the first one. I think the other ones are pretty bad, though, aren't they?
I think the first one was probably pretty bad, but rose-colored glasses and the errors and follies of youth, right? Well, but that works. But I mean, you've done stuff to music, or to movies too. Like the orchestra will play, coinciding with like Star Wars and Harry Potter and different things. I've been to some of those. You don't really love doing those though, do you?
No, not true. Not true. I did the Star Wars one.
The Star Wars one.
I like
Sorry, I'm correct.
If I like the music, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, Star Wars one I've done. I've also done, what was it? The video games live.
Oh yeah, how was that? Because I have several friends who definitely are about the video game soundtracks.
Yeah, I can't miss that. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. When I first saw that we were doing that, I was so excited. I didn't know what we were playing, but then we ended up playing, games from my childhood, which is really cool. I think
What did you play? Because I forgot that you did that.
we played stuff from, well, Mario, Halo. Do you know the game Chrono Trigger?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a sequel to that called Chrono Cross. Do you know this game?
I know of. I am definitely not like the hardcore gamer outside of like sports games and like your Marvel fare.
So Chrono Cross was a game that came out on PlayStation 1, and there's a violin solo in it, and that's the track that they chose for that set list for that concert. So I got to play that, so that was super exciting. And the guitarist like right next to me, just like just going crazy like all guitarists do, and just playing along with that. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, and they had a costume contest, I think, during intermission.
Did you enter?
Yeah, it was fun to see that too.
You should have entered. You should have gone, in intermission, and then played in costume. You could have been a Mario brother or Metroid or something. Go nuts. Samus, not.
Yeah, I hope they bring that back though, because I would love to do that again.
That like one of like the highlights that you would look forward to doing again is the video game soundtracks.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and especially nowadays, it's become so much so much more orchestral and grand now, so it's really fitting for a symphony orchestra to play that kind of music. I used to do back in the day. I used to do recordings as well, for video game soundtracks and TVs and commercials.
Oh wow! What
as a side?
Are you allowed to name drop any of the things that you did?
Honestly, they never told us what the actual movie or commercial was, but I did go to the Microsoft offices in Seattle.
Oh, cool.
And we did a soundtrack to, it was one of those those MMORPGs when it was really the thing back in the day when like Warcraft just came out. So we did one of those. Yeah.
That's got to be rewarding, though. I mean, the music you've done is appeared in a wide scope of just pop culture and entertainment in general. Obviously, with games, commercials, television, just everything you were just naming. Does that feel pretty rewarding for you, or is it just kind of like, just give me the concerts and I'm good with that?
It's fun, definitely, and it's but I think nothing, because those are usually done in a studio. So I think nothing really replaces the feeling of playing for a live audience.
No. you get to feel that energy. You get the immediacy of appreciation. You're not just in a studio in a box, and that's you
Yeah.
can look behind a glass maybe and see a couple producers or sound engineers or what have you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but you know, like I said, it was like with anything, even classical music. You know, if the music's good, it's so much more fun.
Well, good. I'm glad that you're able to enjoy yourself. I'm glad that you've had all these different opportunities. Is there anything upcoming that you're doing or the Richmond Symphony is doing that you want to plug?
Oh, well, let's see. I think this weekend they're out going to Pocahontas. They're playing some country bluegrass type music. And then next weekend they're also playing. I don't know if you know the band Miramar. It's a local band. Um, I'm not quite sure what kind of music they do. It's more like very chill, more like bossa nova type thing. They're doing that next weekend, and yeah, that's about in the near future. I I typically get like like a concerto opportunity during the season. I think this year is going to be in April, so if it's still a ways away, but people can make it. That'd be cool. We'll be playing some
Well,
as well.
people need to come see you. I'll definitely link out to the Richmond Symphony and all the links and stuff so people can check out what's going on and see, stay up to date with your goings on as well. And then hopefully support you. Form of fundraising, right? People can donate. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And hopefully, as more people can come in, people will be able to start seeing you play more and more and more and support the arts, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know it can be a trying time, but we're here for the people in Richmond. We're here. We're playing concerts. So if you need a little break from your day-to-day lives, just tune in online, or if if you're feeling brave, come out. They're being very responsible and very safe. So yeah, I mean, we're here for the community, and without the community, we wouldn't be here. So
That's awesome. Dice, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me, to explain things to me. I felt like I got a little bit of an education. I'm not totally uncultured swine here. And it was amazing, learning about your experiences and, everything going on. Thank you so much.
oh yeah, thanks for having me. It was a pleasure. It was fun talking to you.
We'll do it. We'll do it again. Maybe we'll see you around maybe towards April.
Sounds good.
I like that. All right. Thanks, Dice. I'll see you.
Take care.
So thank you again for watching. Hopefully that you like our Facebook page at facebook.com/pointofjew. There's also a link tree to Twitter, to YouTube. Hopefully subscribe on YouTube and, watch the video podcasts as I try and grow and keep you all entertained. I did think it'd be cool since by the time this podcast comes out, we're going to be in October. Overall entertainment podcast, huge nerd. So I was thinking of a cool kind of giveaway to incentivize interaction and hopefully keep you listening. I'm glad that Dice and I got to talk about, Star Wars briefly. I did pick this up, the box is like the size of my friggin' head. I will be giving away this little guy, and how that'll happen or what is kind of the rules of engagement there is liking the Facebook page, subscribing to the YouTube channel. That will count as submissions into, I'm just going to do a randomized drawing. So basically, you can do those two things. That's two submissions, or you can post a video of yourself making the Chewbacca noise. I'm working myself up to the. Don't sue me, Disney. Do not sue me. So, I mean, I make an ass out of myself weekly. So hopefully, 5 seconds of courage, right? That will also be the Chewbacca noise will also be another entry. So each person can have basically 3 entries into when I do this raffle. And so when am I going to do that? How am I going to do that? When the Facebook page reaches 100 likes, so that means comment, like, share, any which way to draw some eyeballs. I will then on the preceding week's show do that, and then contact you and hand off or send you or however it works. This is really freaking cool. But yeah, this baby Yoda. So should be a fun contest. Should be something cool to get people engaged. And in the interim, still lining up guests and still kind of spanning the gamut of the entertainment industry. Lining up a lot of people for the next couple shows that are still involved in music, and then also video games. Gamers with Twitch channels and things like that I don't know anything about, but I'll learn. I'm not a huge classical music buff, but learned a lot there too. And then, still trying to get anybody involved, music, gaming, movies and television, sports, any and all entertainment. That's, the space we play. So I thank you for watching this week's episode or listening to it, depending on how you consume your media, on Google Play as well. And can download the podcast on iTunes. So a lot of different methodologies to be able to get my point of view across. Until next time, thanks for watching and or listening. There you go.